Hey guys, welcome back. This is Maddie from the Carnegie Center. We miss seeing you all at the center and we hope you're doing well at home, staying happy and healthy. Today we're going to do another story time and a craft. We're going to read Where the Wild Things Are. At night, Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day and in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws, till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go, we'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said no. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. So today we're going to be making our very own Wild Thing puppets out of some brown paper lunch bags. These are fun. They can read the story along with you, and you can make them with just about anything. The only thing you really need is the brown paper bag to get started. So here's my monster base. This is going to be where his mouth opens. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of these ears that I have on mine. Yours doesn't have to have ears. Yours could have horns or antennas, whatever sounds good to you. I made mine here out of a coffee filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a coffee filter in half. Just like that. Fold that in half again. And one more time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into the top of it here to make the fringe. Go ahead and do that to the other one. 2 ears, I'm gonna go ahead and take a glue stick and glue in between the layers so they stay together. Just like that. Easy peasy. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue these onto the back of his head. So where the flap is gonna be the front of its face where the mouth is. So we're gonna flip it over, put some glue on these top corners, and tape down our ears going out. Or glue down our ears, rather. Just like that. For this one, I cut out for his eyes. I used 2 different kinds of paper. I used a patterned paper and a light blue paper. I think I'm gonna do that again. I have some pre-cut already. If you don't want to use patterned paper, you don't have patterned paper, you can do eyes with a lot of other things. You could tape on your eyes, you could draw on them, whatever works for you. I'm going to go ahead and use these ones. So I'm going to think of where I want the eyes to go. That works for me. And now we're going to make a nose. I think I want to give this monster a green nose. So I'm going to take some green paper, cut myself out a little piece so it's easier to work with. And I think I want to give this one a long nose. So I'm going to cut my nose shape just like that. This one's sort of an oval-shaped nose. Like that. Now I want my monster to have pointy teeth, like they do in the book. So for that, I'm gonna take some white paper and just cut some triangles out along the edge. Your monster could have square teeth if you wanted that. It doesn't have to have teeth at all. And once I've cut those out, I'm gonna glue them underneath right here to this flap. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Now my monster has his teeth. I'm gonna go ahead and glue on the eyes and the nose. Perfect. Now, once your monster has his eyes and his nose and his teeth, you really can decorate with anything. For this one, by the way, I gave him a tongue just by gluing a long oval piece inside of his mouth like that, in case you wanted to do that. But once I had all his face done, I got to decorate his belly. So for this one, I cut out some blue hearts and then I drew on some polka dots and some stars. You can do whatever you want. I think for this one, I'm gonna give him some different colored polka dots cut out of paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some different colors of paper. I think I'll use purple, pink, and white. I'm gonna cut a shape out of all of those. I cut little squares out of the big pieces because I feel like they're easier to work with. When they're smaller, they're easier to cut the shape you want. I'm gonna fold that in half lightly, and I'm gonna cut some circles. I'm folding them in half like that so I have a higher chance of them being symmetrical. Just like that. Give some polka dots. Some more. And I think I'm going to do some hearts too. Like that. Now that I have all of my shapes cut out, I'm going to glue them onto this front. Once I've glued on my shapes, I think I'm gonna use some crayons to draw on him as well, like I did with this one. I also realized on this monster up here, I went ahead and gave him nostrils, which I didn't on this nose, so I'll show you how I did that. I'm gonna use just my black crayon, and near the base of the nose, just draw some half circles like that and fill them in. I'm gonna use my white crayon to draw a little bit of a shine up at the top. Just like that. I'm gonna use some crayons to give him some eyebrows too. Red crayon, I'm going to draw some stars. I'm going to draw some flowers. This is the part where you get to decide what you want your monster to look like. And there you go. Now you have your very own Wild Thing puppet to read the story with you. Thanks, guys.